Welcome to Tanu Science. In this video, we'll learn the answers for question number 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the part of answer in detail from chapter 1 Laws of Motion of class 10. First question, what are the types of inertia? Give an example for each type. There are 3 types of inertia. We'll discuss or we'll learn one by one. Inertia of rest. Inertia is nothing but inability to change its position of rest. So inertia of rest means that object itself will not change its rest position or in the state of rest. For example, this book is in the state of rest. If the book is want to move from rest to motion, definitely it requires force. Without force, the book will not change its position. So it's opposing to change its position. To equalize the opposition, force is required. Then one more example, when you shaking the branches of tree, the leaves and fruits are detached from the tree. If there is no any external force, these fruits and leaves wouldn't be fall down towards the ground. So without external force, that object will not change its rest position. Inertia of rest, the resistance in the sense opposition of a body to change its state of rest. So object itself will not change its rest position. Example, vigorously shake the branches of a tree. Some of the leaves and fruits are detached from the tree and they fall down. Next, inertia of motion. Inertia of motion nothing but object itself will not change in the state of motion by itself, or the resistance of a body to change its state of motion. Example, an athlete runs some distance before jumping. So athlete going to run before jumping. That is example for inertia of motion. Inertia of motion, the resistance of a body to change its state of motion. That means object itself will not change in the state of motion. Example, an athlete runs some distance before jumping. So before jumping, an athlete going to run some distance. Inertia of direction. Third one, this is the resistance of a body to change its direction of motion. So object itself will not change its direction without external force. Now this car moves in the turning road. When the car takes turn while driving, person inside the car moves sideways and the car moves in this circular path. That means object tries to be in the same straight line direction. Due to the attachment of this person with the car, the person moves with the car, but he will feel moves sideways, then will move in the car due to the attachment. So object itself will not change its direction by itself. Inertia of direction, the resistance of a body to change its direction of motion. So object itself will not change its direction. That property is inertia of direction. Example, make a sharp turn while driving a car, you tend to lean sideways. So make a sharp turn while driving a car, you tend to lean sideways. Question number 2. State Newton's laws of motion. There are 3 laws of motion. First we will see the Newton's first law. In the Newton's first law, rest object always will be in the rest. If any object in the state of motion, that always that object will be in the motion. without the external force. This is rest, object in the state of rest. This is object in the state of motion. If the rest object want to in motion, or this motion or moving object want to be in rest, itself will not come unless external force acting on it. That external force is nothing but unbalanced external force. The unbalanced external force is changing the state of the object from rest to motion or motion to rest. So simply we can explain rest object always will be in the rest. Moving object always will be in the moving without external force acting on it. So we can define the first law. Every body continues to be in its state of rest or the state of uniform motion along a straight line. So every object or body continues in the state of rest or in the state of uniform motion along a straight line unless it is acted upon by some external force. Newton's second law. Let us consider this is body. The force acting F on this body. Before the force acting on the body, its momentum was mu. After acting the force, its momentum is mv. So there will be a change in the momentum. This is initial momentum, this is final momentum. Initial momentum turns into final momentum after applying the force. So this force directly proportional to the change in the momentum. If the force is increases, change in momentum also increases. This is a Newton's second law. Then this change in momentum direction is lies along the direction of force. So force direction and the change in the momentum direction both will be the same. Second law formula is F is equal to ma, where F is the force, m is the mass and a is the acceleration. Now we can define Newton's second law. The force acting on a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum of the body. So the force is directly proportional to rate of change of linear momentum of the body. This change in momentum takes place in the direction of force. So direction of force and direction of change in momentum will be the same. Formula for Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. F is the force, m is the mass and a is the acceleration. Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For example, when we are walking on the ground, we are exerting force on the ground. This is action. At the same time, this ground exert force on us in the upward direction. That is called reaction. This action and reaction both are equal, but only one different, acting in the different direction. Then one more thing, this force acting on two different bodies. Action acting on the ground, but reaction acting on us. So these two force acting on two different bodies. So for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. They always act on two different bodies. One force acting on the ground, one force acting on us. So simply you can write force, if you take action is Fa, the reaction is Fb. Then Fa is equal to Fb. Both the forces are equal. Direction is changed. So this is negative. Now we can define Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. They always act on two different bodies. Fa is equal to minus Fb. This negative sign indicates action and reaction acting in the opposite direction. Question number 3. Deduce the equation of a force using Newton's second law of motion. So you have to derive the force formula by using the Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law. Let us consider this is body. The force acting F on this body. before the force acting on the body, its momentum was mu. After acting the force, its momentum is mv. So there will be a change in the momentum. This is initial momentum, this is final momentum. Initial momentum turns into final momentum after applying the force. So this force directly proportional to the change in the momentum. If the force is increases, change in momentum also increases. This is a Newton's second law. Then this change in momentum direction is lies along the direction of force. So force direction and the change in the momentum direction both will be the same. Second law formula is F is equal to ma, where F is the force, m is the mass and a is the acceleration. Now we can define Newton's second law. The force acting on a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum of the body. So the force is directly proportional to rate of change of linear momentum of the body. This change in momentum takes place in the direction of force. So direction of force and direction of change in momentum will be the same. Formula for Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. F is the force, m is the mass and a is the acceleration. You can derive the equation of force. Let m be the mass of a moving body. Let us consider this is m. This is mass of the moving body with initial velocity is u. Then after time interval, certain time interval t, this velocity is changed into v due to the unbalanced force acting on it. So the object moving with the initial velocity u, in the time interval t, if unbalanced force F is acting on the object, its velocity changed into v. This is final velocity. So let m be the mass of a moving body moving along a straight line with an initial speed u. So this is m be the mass of moving body moving along a straight line with an initial speed u. After time interval of a time t, the velocity of the body changes to v. Now this velocity changed to v due to the unbalanced external force acting on it. Now initial momentum mass into initial velocity, final momentum mass into final velocity, change in momentum final momentum minus initial momentum is equal to final momentum is mv minus initial momentum is mu. Now force F directly proportional to change in momentum is Pf minus Pi, its value mv minus mu by time. So time is t. F, if you replace this proportionality, equal and one constant k, where k is the proportionality constant. This proportionality constant value is always 1 in all system of units. So k is equal to 1. Proportionality constant k is 1 in all system of units. All system of units in the sense CGS, FPS, MKS, like that. So this proportionally replaced by is equal to constant k. M is a common, you can take out v minus u by t. We know that v minus u by t is nothing but rate of change of velocity is nothing but acceleration. So a is equal to v minus u by t. So F is equal to k value is 1 already mentioned here. Then m v minus u by t is a. So F is equal to m into a. So F represents force, m represents mass, into a represents acceleration. So this is the formula for force or equation of force we derived by using the Newton's second law of motion. Question number 4. State and prove the law of conservation of linear momentum. We know that momentum formula, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. if you consider any particle or any system or any object, this object momentum initially is sigma mu, that is total initial momentum is equal to total mv is nothing but final momentum. So total initial momentum will be equal to total final momentum until no external force acting on it. So if there is no external force acting on it, total initial momentum is equal to total final momentum. This is law of conservation of linear momentum. So there is one condition for this law of conservation of linear momentum. External force should not be acting on the system. Law of conservation of linear momentum. There is no change in the linear momentum. So conservation means no change in the linear momentum of a system of bodies as long as no net external force. So if there is no net external force on the system, no change in the linear momentum. So once again, there is no change in the linear momentum of a system of bodies as long as no net external force acts on them. Now you can prove the law of conservation of linear momentum. Let us consider two bodies A and B having masses m1 and m2 with initial velocity u1 and u2 respectively in a straight line. So two objects, its masses m1 and m2, their initial velocity u1 and u2 moving in a straight line. Now u1 is greater than u2. So u1 is initial velocity of object A is greater than initial velocity of object B. So what will happen? This object is moving with a high speed than the previous one. So definitely this object A going to collide or impact with the object B. During the collision, object A exert force on B, at the same time object B exert force on A. These both the forces equal in magnitude and in the opposite direction according to Newton's third law of motion. After the collision, object A moves with the final velocity v1, object B moves with the final velocity v2. Now we will see in detail. Let two bodies A and B having masses m1 and m2 move with initial velocity u1 and u2 in a straight line. So let two bodies A and B having masses m1 and m2 move with initial velocity u1 and u2 in a straight line. Let the velocity of the first body, that is u1, velocity of the first body is u1 is greater than that of second body. So u1 is greater than u2. Let the velocity of the first body be higher than that of the second body u1 greater than u2. Now during an interval of time t, they tend to have a collision. Now they are going to collide each other because initial velocity of the first body is greater than second body velocity, initial velocity. So after the impact, after the collision, both of them move along a straight line with a velocity v1 and v2. So after the collision, velocity of object A is v1, velocity of object B is v2. According to Newton's second law of motion, force on body B due to A, Fa is equal to m v minus u by t. So force on body B due to A, here subscription is 2. Next, force on body A due to B, that is Fb is equal to m1 v1 minus u1 by t. According to Newton's third law of motion, both the forces are equal in magnitude, but they are acting the opposite, so minus. Now Fb, so Fb is Fb value m1 v1 minus u1 by t is equal to minus Fa value is m2 v2 minus u2 by t. Then both the sides you can cancel this t. Now you can multiply m1 v1, next minus m1 u1 is equal to minus m2 v2, minus into minus plus m2 u2. Now m1 v1, this minus m2 v2 came here, means plus m2 v2 is equal to this minus m1 u1 going that side, means plus m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So left hand side represents algebraic sum of momentum after collision is numerically equal to algebraic sum of momentum before collision. This is after collision total momentum. This is before collision total momentum. Both will be the same in the absence of external force. So once again you can say the statement: in the absence of an external force, the absence of external force, so that no force acting on the system. In the absence of external force, the algebraic sum of the momentum after collision, the algebraic sum of the momentum after collision is numerically equal to the algebraic sum of the momentum before collision, the algebraic sum of the momentum before collision. Hence the law of conservation of linear momentum is proved. Thank you, students.